one of the most exciting things about working in the industry that we do is all of the technology that we get to interface with. So not just new phones. I mean, new phones are exciting and we get to play with them, test them, swap in and out. Tasha will talk about some of that. But we also are really interested in the day-to-day ways that people use their devices and things they interact with. So we thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about some of the tech that we get to test drive and what we do with it. So Tasha recently, I'm so proud of her. She's like a hardcore Apple user.
Tasha. Yes.
And she decided to take one for the team and say, okay, I'm going to swap into the new Samsung Galaxy S21 and then give some honest feedback from a first-time user's perspective. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, so I'm not huge into the phone features, typically, even on iPhones. As long as it's got a good camera, I'm usually good to go. I'm more interested in different things that it can connect to. But we were talking about what we wanted to talk about on this podcast, and we were talking and we're like, oh, the Galaxy S21 series is new. We should talk about that. And I'm like, oh, but you could just Google reviews and specs, and we need something different. So I decided I was going to go all in. And I switched from an iPhone XS to the Galaxy S21 Plus for a whole week. This is my last day of that week. And let me tell you, it has been probably one of the longest weeks of my life. So some background, and we were talking about this earlier too, with a lot of schools bringing technology in, we kind of wonder how that will shape the kids as users.
Yeah.
And I was telling Alicia, when I was in high school, when I started my freshman year, my high school started a one-on-one initiative, and we started with MacBooks. Mm-hmm. So that was really my first taste of technology. It was flip phones before then for me. So I had a MacBook. When I graduated from high school, my parents bought me another MacBook to take to college. As soon as Nextech Wireless launched iPhones, I switched to an iPhone. I've had an iPhone ever since then. I've had a couple iPads. My kids now have those iPads. My husband has an iPhone. I bought an Apple Watch. This is actually my second one.
She drank the Kool-Aid, people.
I did. And I am all into this ecosystem. I have AirPods. I subscribe to Apple Music. I have looked at Apple Fitness Plus. It's a sickness, kind of.
There's no shame in it, because the thing is, whichever ecosystem you feel comfortable with,
yes,
it's really easy to incorporate those into your existing lifestyle. So It makes total sense. But I think you got a first-hand look at how difficult it is to try to switch and leave it.
Yes. So if you are someone that has maybe contemplated an ecosystem jump before, I suggest that you really, really take a hard look at your life prior to switching and see how pulled in to that web you've become, because I am way further in than I thought I was. So I guess I'll start with some things that I do like about the Galaxy S21. So once I got my stuff switched and had some basic features up and running, the screen, excellent resolution, great picture. I have taken just a few pictures. The camera's great, of course, which,
they're
always
known
talk about
for
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will also say, is it called Samsung Switch? That I used? Okay, they
Smart Switch.
Smart Switch, that's what it is. So to get the information from my iPhone to this new Galaxy S21 Plus, I use Smart Switch. So you just plug your phones together and it copies all of your information onto your new device. It was excellent. That was a fantastic transition. It copied all of my apps. I think probably only about half of them transferred.
That it could, right?
Yes.
Acknowledging that when you're using the two different ecosystems, they can't.
Yeah.
They can't transfer all of them.
So I did like that. There's also a couple of notifications that I really like. So when I am actively using the phone, if I get a text message, a little bar pops up across the top, and that happens on iPhones too. But if you click on it in iPhones, it takes over your whole screen. But with the Android, you can just type in your response and it stays real little at the top, and you can send it and send the notification away.
I take these things for granted as an Android user. I know that exists and I love it. Yeah.
So I did like some of those things, and I also will be the first one to tell you that I'm very OCD type A personality, and when I get notifications on my iPhone, and maybe this is a setting that I could have changed in the Android, but on my iPhone, when I get notifications, it lights up the whole screen. It's right there. Mm-hmm. When you open it up to your home screen, you get all those red dots. So I'm like, I got to get rid of the red dots. I can't have the unread notifications.
So it is a setting you can change on your Android. You could have done that too, but that is an interesting point and something we've talked about a lot. The difference between the two ecosystems is that Apple has recently made changes to provide a lot more customization, but one of the big drivers behind Android originally was just being able to customize everything. And maybe it's gone too far. You can customize everything, but to get it how you want it, then you have to go in and customize each setting the way you want it. And of course, once you have it and you transfer phones, it follows you. I mean, my whole life is tied to my Gmail account, my Google account, right? I mean, everything. So, hindsight's 2020. Maybe I shouldn't have set that up with the username I did, but you can't go back. So that's going to follow me for life, and that's fine. But everything's tied to it. So you could have customized that. But again, this is one of those things like you have to go in and you have to set these things the way you want them, and then they'll be that way.
Well, and it was sort of a double-edged sword. So it took some getting used to, and I had to like actively look for text messages and stuff on this Galaxy. But it also was good too, because it did allow me, it didn't divert my attention as much, I guess, when I would get these notifications. So I noticed I used the phone a lot less. One thing I do want to circle back around to is the frenzy that this created on my personal Facebook page. So I'll come back to that. But I did tell one of the girls in some of our East locations, Lindsay, she's a hardcore Android user too. And she's like, is this the best thing ever? I was like, no. So not from any fault of the phone.
You disappointed her?
Yeah, I guess. Not because of the phone, but just because of my personal preference and what I've used for so many years. But I will tell you, if you've debated doing any sort of like technology detox, jump ecosystems and get a phone you don't know how to use, because you just won't use it. So I did use my phone significantly less this last week.
That's a fair point.
But I will say, so Monday morning, I came in first thing Monday morning and was getting ready to switch, and I posted on my Facebook page. I said, warning, I am moving from an iPhone to an Android. If I miss calls or text messages, it's Samsung's fault. I can't be held responsible. I submitted an update later and said, this is not going well. Pray for me. Heaven help me. So it was the actual process of switching, like using the smart switch was nice. One thing I will tell you, if you are going to take this monumentous leap, before you turn off your iPhone and you pull your SIM card, you have to turn off iMessage, you have to turn off Find My iPhone, and you have to log out of your iCloud before you pull your SIM card. Yeah. Because my number got caught in the iMessage system, I guess, and I couldn't receive text messages from other iPhones on my phone. We finally got
the iPhones were attempting to send them as iMessages, and since she was no longer in an Apple device, it didn't know to drop them down to just a text message. So
so that took a little bit. We got it all figured out though, and got them going. So I'll circle back around to my Facebook. So I posted that. I cannot believe the responses I got.
Was it very divided?
Yes. So some people are like, Android's the best thing since sliced bread. You're never going to go back. And I can't believe how divided our company is. So not necessarily in a bad way, but we get a little, even Alicia and I get a little
competitive.
Like, yes, iPhone's better. And she's like, no, it's Android. So I got a lot of comments, and it was funny because people even outside of our company, somebody posted Wednesday or Thursday night and said, well, we need an update. How is day 3 going? So I got some really fun comments, lots of opinions, and there is no in between. Yeah. You are either iPhone or you are Android, and you are not usually going to switch teams. Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
So interestingly, I'm full on team Android, always have been, always probably will be. But I'll say this. I don't try to recruit people because I understand the dilemma, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm meeting with a customer and, rarely now is it your first smartphone. And even if it's the first smartphone for a kid, they've already probably got a preferred ecosystem based on either equipment they've used at school or equipment that their parents use, clearly. But if it is a first-time smartphone user, I want to know what you're looking for. And that will help dictate which one you go with. But once you have one, I'm not usually someone that tries to get you to switch ecosystems because I understand how difficult that can be from a comfort perspective. So now, shout out, we do have a customer who I know maybe a year ago swapped from Android, I think he had a Samsung, into an iPhone. Shout out Joe and Hayes. It was a difficult process for him, but he absolutely did it and went all in, and he's really happy and he likes his iPhone now. So
that's awesome.
Some people can make it happen. I'm not interested in making that kind of commitment, so I'm good with where I'm at.
I would have never, if it weren't for this little research/experiment, would have never. I mean, I had all of these tech people at my disposal to help me and to hold my hand. So also funny, I was saying earlier, I didn't even know where the power button was at first. I'm like, how do you turn this thing off? I was working with one of our product techs, Chad, and he's like, power cycle the phone. I'm like, but where's the power button? I had to Google it.
Not just the power button, but you were talking earlier about the gestures on your iPhone.
Yes.
And you get so familiar with these movements, and Android's the same way, right? So we've got some shortcuts, some really easy, quick things that you just absorb.
Yes.
And you innately do them because you know how that operates.
Second nature.
Yeah, they're second nature. And so it's really hard when you're switching to one you don't understand. So I frequently have to use iPhones for testing. And it's still difficult for me. If you come in my office, I'm just like swiping at this screen in these random ways because I can't ever remember how to get the menus to pop up. So it's definitely fun to mix it up, but yeah, I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah, ditto. My new iPhone 12 Pro is waiting for me patiently on my desk at the office. I will be switching first thing Monday morning.
Well, thank you for doing it and trying and being open to the experience and also saying some positive things about the phone.
No, there was some good stuff, and I feel like it wasn't even like a totally fair review. It's not that I'm necessarily hateful or anything towards Androids. That's not in my wheelhouse. Like, it was just hard, and it wasn't the phone or the manufacturer. It just was a completely different ecosystem.
Well, we do love a good Apple versus Android meme. So if you see any of those, tag us. We enjoy those. We share them around the office all the time. So
yes, absolutely.
Well, thanks, Tasha. I want to talk a little bit about some tech that I got for Christmas. Thank you, Mom and Dad. My parents bought me a Rocketbook for Christmas, and a Rocketbook, in case you're not aware, is like a smart notebook. Its claim to fame is that originally they were on Shark Tank when they first came about, and the original models, like, you write on this reusable notebook and you would put it in the microwave and it would erase the information, which is really cool. And you can also upload it to the cloud. They've since changed that. So, like, listed in various places within the notebook and the documents, it's like, do not put this in the microwave. So they trained you to do it. Now they're like, don't do it. But anyway, my parents bought me this. What I like about it is that the one they got me it's a project planner. It has a calendar, it has grid pages, and it has lined pages. So it's a pretty great one. It comes with these special pens. You can buy additional ones in different sizes, how fine you want the writing to be. It has... Oh, hold it up. Yeah. It's like, we're also filming this. And he's like, hold it up. Like, oh, Rocketbook. There you go. Sorry, I forgot you were there, audience. So it comes with special pens you can get in various, fine point, thicker, and also highlighters that you can use. So you write on these pages, and then if you want to erase them, you just put a little water and there's a cloth and you wipe them right off. No problem. The pens also have an eraser, which is amazing. But then each page has a QR code, or you can use the Rocketbook app on your phone to just scan the page and upload it to your cloud. And you also have the option to categorize each page down at the bottom. There's these little icons, and if you mark one, when you upload it, it will like sort them and store them for you. So as someone who is an endless list maker, I love this because I feel like I waste a lot of paper making my lists. And so here I can keep them and just erase. I like to upload my to-do list. So if I'm out of the office and I didn't take it with me, I have it, and then I can delete them when I've accomplished those tasks. One thing they say is if you don't erase it like once a month, it might bleed onto the page. I'm getting pretty close on some of these, so I need to go through and purge some of the information. But I think this is a really unique way. I'm all about sustainable solutions, and so I'm really committed to trying to reduce my paper waste. So I'm going to really focus on using this year. Plus, I like how thin it is to carry around with me instead of a big, thick notebook all the time. So
you also I'm also a paper person, but I have one notebook. Alicia will walk into meetings with this super tiny sticky note and everything on the front and the back. And it's real small. And I'm like, how do you use that?
I'm trying really hard to reuse as much of the paper as I can. I like, we talk a lot about the best way to prioritize time management at work. And so I am a big believer in, I make a daily to-do list. Like, these are the things I have to get done today. And we talk a lot about the most efficient use of your time. And so I always believe that if you've got items that can get completed, just complete them. Cross them off your list. That way you've got them done. So I am always carrying pieces of paper that are crossed out. Also, I missed my calling as a doctor. No one can read what I've written. So it's definitely camouflaged. You're not gonna be able to read this.
If you think you're getting company secrets from Alicia's notebook, it's not gonna happen.
Not at all. So yeah, I would highly recommend the Rocketbook. I've been using it I got it for Christmas. Though we met after Christmas. I think I got it in January. So far I really like it. So it's been a good experience. I recommend it. Don't put it in the microwave.
I was perplexed by the whole don't put it in the microwave. I'm like, what? But why would you put your notebook in the microwave?
Me too. So. I didn't realize the history. So when I kept reading these notes, I'm like, what is wrong with these people?
That's how you zap it.
You zap it. Well, lastly, we wanted to talk a little bit about some apps. We asked Whitney to talk about one of her favorite apps.
Yeah, so one of my favorite apps, I forgot to mention this earlier, but it's PicsArt. It is PICSART. And I like it. I've had it for 5 or 6 years, forever, it seems like. But I like it because I can make photos of me into surrealistic photos of me. So one of the
for Instagram?
Yeah, for Instagram. They're just super fun, and it makes me be able to bring out the child in me, be creative, have the art flow come out, and just, be creative in the best way possible. And so it's literally sometimes you're drawing on your phone.
Okay.
And it's it's really fun. You get to use your hands like you would with finger paint or something.
So how frequently would you say you use it?
I was using it a lot during the summer. I haven't used it recently. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is taking pictures of me, and I know,
one of the
right?
things I really enjoy doing is taking pictures of me.
So conceited. No, but no. But Taylor and I were on a walk. My husband Taylor, and he took a picture of me in tree pose, and I took the background out and I put wings on me, and I have a little shining square around me, so I'm in it and out of it at the same time, and there's stars in the background. Nice. And it's just, I don't know, it's just fun to do fun pictures.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
One of my New Year's resolutions was to take more photos this year to sort of capture my life. So Whitney, I'm gonna do it, and I'll download that app and I'll jazz them
it's
up a
fun.
bit. Okay,
it's super fun.
I'll give it a try.
It's super easy, and I think for me, so in your, we both went to the same high school. You had MacBook. I grew up with Dell, and I had a MacBook when I was in college, which is really interesting because I hated Dell. I hated Dell so much.
Sorry, Dell.
Sorry. I just did not enjoy it, which is really funny because I have an Android. I have a MacBook, but for graphic design, we learned on MacBook in college, and so I forgot what I was talking about now. Oh my gosh.
It is interesting that you can use a MacBook, for your schoolwork, or that you did because you graduated, obviously, and then convert ecosystems onto an Android phone.
I love MacBooks. So good. I can't do the phones for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just can't. But
are you guys too young to remember, dude, you're getting a Dell? That was a great ad campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just came back to me.
You're good. But anyways, the PicsArt app is wonderful for, touching up photos, for making them super surrealistic, HDR. You can do pretty much anything in there. And there's a paid version of it. I do not do the paid version. Sorry. This is not a paid advertisement.
Maybe they'll give you a sponsorship, something. Yeah. Okay, well, so check out our Instagram. After this, we'll download the PicsArt app, and we'll touch up some photos, be a little creative, and we'll post them.
Yeah, Whitney's also our resident photographer. So
Yeah.
if you do follow us on social media, you'll see a lot of her images. So, yeah.